Good morning, dear colleagues. You are welcome at the next presentation of the lecture series of Translational Medicine Center. And I'm very proud of introducing my boss, Péter Hegyi. So this is not easy to introduce, actually, because everybody knows him, actually, quite well. Maybe not from this perspective, because he manages the projects of all of us, practically. And then hopefully those who are not tutors on this program, but some of those, I see some faces that hopefully they can join in the future too to the program. But today we are going to hear about making every minute count. So how to manage your time, which is actually very difficult, at least to me. Maybe I'm the only one in this room. Actually, I doubt it. This should be very useful for all of us. Péter, please.
Gabor, thank you very much for the introduction. You know, guys, I try to be leader, but if my people count me boss, it means something. But it's a really great honor and privilege for me to have a talk to you today. I hope that after the talk, you will feel that it was worth spending 1 hour with me here in the room, and hopefully spending your time today with me for 1 hour will generate lots of minutes, hours, and days for you, which you can spend on your success in the future. So that's why we are speaking about making every minute count, because of course we are the busiest human beings in the life ever had nowadays with the electric, internet, and everything. So we don't have time for everything, but importantly, we have time for important things. And today I would like to give you some guidance how to spend every minute in favor of your visions today. Actually, I spared it for 6 different chapters, my talk. I will start some basic issues, basic truths, and basic lies. Also, I will show you a first steps how to start if you would like to change your attitude concerning time. I will help you how to build your calendar. I will tell you how to increase your efficiency in a certain period of time, so you can do more things within a certain amount of time. But in chapter 5, I will tell you how to make 8.5 days in a week. And lately I will show you that is it feasible and effective as well. So let's look at the basics. So now I would like to ask also you to be a little bit involved in the presentation. So I will ask you questions, and please use your hands if you agree about or you think it's true for you. So my first question is towards to you guys. The first one is, I would like to understand who needs more time from you. Who wants to spend more time with their family? Please raise your hands. Okay, almost everybody. Okay, but who wants more time to rest in this busy life, to go to holidays, to spend rest? Very good. Who wants more time to be more effective when you do your work in science and your daily research? Let's put your hands up if you feel that's true for you. Who wants more time before the deadlines, before the progress report? Okay. Who wants more time to go out with friends to drink some pints or drink some wine? Excellent. And who would like to get more sports activity daily to be more healthier? Yes. So, if I look at about time, plenty of people think that we need more time to work. No. Every period of your life, every item of your life needs more time. So during this presentation, if you win time and you spend on your family, that's great. If you win time at the end of the presentation and you spend on sport, that will help you to be more healthier. If at the end of the talk you will use your time to spend on work, you will be more successful. So I think the first summary of this talk that everybody needs more time. Let's look at both lies and truths, and I would like to start with the lies, because there are many, unfortunately. The first issue is I heard plenty of times in my life that time is money. Question is it true or lie? I think it's a huge lie. Why? If you spend money on something, you can earn more money tomorrow. If you go out and you see a person who are throwing away money, what do you say? Oh, it's an insane people, it's totally stupid. Maybe he knows that he will get a couple of billions dollars next day. But what about time? The time you spend today never come back. So time is as important as your life. It's gone. You are here for this hour, but this time is gone forever. And you cannot replace it with anything. So time is money is a huge lie, because money is replaceable, time is totally irreplaceable. But think about how many times people spend their time, which is irreplaceable, to earn money, which most probably we don't need more money, because we earn more money to spend something which we never buy if we won't have money and will not change our life. But we plenty of time spending our time to get more and more and more and more money, and looking at our bank account. It should be totally opposite. We should buy time by delegating things and doing things only which is important and not doing which is not important. Plenty of times we are saying okay, we would like to have a long life, and we would like to be maybe 100-year-old or whatever, and when we see an old person, we say, okay, how lucky is he because he is old, he lived long. This is also not true. Because you are old, it doesn't mean that you have lived long. Within a certain period of time, you can live much, much, much more than if you don't use your time for valuable things. So maybe you are only 51-year-old, but you lived almost 200 years period, and maybe you are 100-year-old, but lived less than who is 50 or 25-year-old. So just being existed, just being living long, it doesn't mean that you had a rich life. Because you are busy, you are effective. As I started my presentation at the beginning, we are living in the busiest period of human being. Plenty of different impulse coming to us, and we are acting sometimes immediately. But being busy, it doesn't mean that you are effective. It's also very, very important. So if you count, you get up in the morning, you are very busy making paperwork, but at the end of the day, if you think about what do I have done today, what happened today, what are the key parameters I could reach today, you can realize plenty of time and plenty of occasion that you were not effective. Plenty of times when I ask somebody, let's go somewhere, oh, no, sorry, I don't have time. Of course, the other can go easily because he has much more time than me. No, everybody has the same amount of time. Everybody has almost 7 days a week, 168 hours, 10,060 minutes a week. So everybody has the same amount of time, and as I mentioned, of course, you don't have time to do everything, but you always can find time to do important things. So the other big lie is I don't have time. Everybody has time. Maybe you don't have priority for the thing you are done, but saying that I'm sorry I don't have time, it's never true, because everybody has time. So let's about looking at important truths. And what I try to help you today is how to change your life from being successful to be highly successful. And this is a truth that winners are always excellent time managers, losers are not. This is as easy as it is stated here. If you use your time for valuable and productive things, you will be definitely highly successful. It is a big truth that most people are time wasters, but unfortunately, they not only waste their own time, but plenty of occasions they waste your time as well. So you always have to be prepared that people surrounded you, most of them are time wasters, and they are stopping you to spend your time productively and valuably. This is very important to recognize, and you have to have awareness how to save your time and not waste with the others. This is very important, that time is totally irreplaceable. You can get anything in your life back, but you cannot get time back. So if somebody come to me and ask my suit, I easily can give it to you, and maybe next day I can have another one. If you ask my car, I may give it to you and I can have another one tomorrow. If you want my house, I can give you my house. I can have another one tomorrow. But if you ask my time to spend with you, this is valuable things you ask from me, because the time I am spending with you I'll never get back. I listen all 90 PhD students in year 1 every week, 15 minutes for each student. It's in my diary. I'm spending my most valuable time with you because this is the time I will never get back. It's very important to understand that time is totally irreplaceable. And finally, time is important as life, because life is also irreplaceable. If your life's gone, it's gone forever. Is it exactly the same with the time? So if I summarize about the time, the summary of the truths and lies, time management is not really time management, because you can't manage your time. It's just tuck, 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 it goes. You can't manage it. You can't stop it. You can't speed it up. But time management is equal your personal management, which say that it's exactly the same like life management. Okay, so maybe I can convince you that time is important, and you think that, okay, now let's give me some hints and tips how to change it and how to spend my time more effectively. So let's look at the first steps, what you need to do. A good time management, a successful time management, have two very, very important points. One of them is priorities. Without setting up your priorities, you cannot do a good time management. The second issue is always the mechanics. You have to have a good mechanics for it. It's like this translational medicine program. The priority is to bring science to healthcare. This is the priority. And we put a big mechanics inside it with the center as a core facility of translational medicine. For you, the priorities is you. And the mechanics is your calendar. You have to build up your calendar as a mechanic issue to support your priorities. So first, you have to set your visions. You have to understand what is your vision. If you go to a workplace, you must understand what is the vision of your workplace. If it's a university, you must understand what is the vision of the university. I moved to the Semmelweis University in 2021, and there was one very important point that I decided to come to Semmelweis, because the Semmelweis vision was that they want to be among the best 100 universities worldwide, and I want to work one of the best 100 universities worldwide. So the two visions met each other. This was the reason why I am here, and most probably I will be here until the Semmelweis University can go to the best 100 universities. This is very important for you when you put your calendar to understand what is the vision of your workplace, what is your annual performance, what they expect from you to do. It's also very important. Doesn't matter it's a company, doesn't matter it's an academic field, doesn't matter it's a hospital, you must understand why you are there. And also, if you would like to get more money, you would like to have a pay rise, you must understand how is your bonus determined. Very important also in time management to understand that the most important part at the end of the day are the key results. Doesn't matter how you are busy during the day. The main issue is whether the key result is there or the key result is not there. This is important. So always you must understand what is the specific goal, what is the product, what you are doing. One of the major stresses, actually also in the US, plenty of research showed that 80–90% of the stress which coming to you is the reason that you don't know what you are expected. And this is what we always put in the progress reports as well there, that what we are doing to provide you, what you can learn during the activity, and also what is expected from you. And this is very important from the very, very beginning. If you go to a workplace, because of course most of you will go to plenty of different workplaces. If you don't know, go to your boss, go to your leader and ask. Hi, my boss, why I am here? Can you tell me what do you expect from me to achieve? What is the specific goal which I reach you will be happy and which I don't reach you will be unhappy? And if you understand it, this will also be very good for stress release. So number one was the vision, to understand what is your vision and what is your workplace vision. The second very important issue is to set your priorities. What is relevant in your life, including family, sports, work, and everything, and what is irrelevant? Because doing something which is irrelevant task with a high energy, this is really, really stop you to be successful. And it's many, many times happening that we can see people working very hard, but if you ask, okay, you are doing this, but what is the end point? What is the key results of you are doing? Where your work will get finally ended? What will be the benefit of it? If you don't think about it and you are doing something very excitedly and very hard speed, which doesn't need to be done at all, this also stops you actually to be successful. The other thing is always things, what you really want to do. What do you love doing? Because doing really things with a great effort, being busy with it, which you don't like, this is really a greatest distraction from living. So first you must sit down before you do anything. Whether what is my vision, what is my priorities, what is relevant for me and what is irrelevant. This is not only time management or life management, this is actually to be happy. I am very happy because I can say I haven't worked at all in my life, because I always did something for my priorities, for my vision. So this is when plenty of times I don't understand work-life balance and so on, because priority balance, I would say, because in priority family is as important actually as work. You had the vision, you had the priorities, and this is coming to the key results area. Set your goals. And definitely I start not with the work. I definitely start with you. What is your personal priority? What do you want to do? What is your business priority? What do you achieve in business? And usually highly successful people thinking in these two things, but many times we forgot the third one. self-development. Let's think how much time you spend in a week developing yourself. Being better on today, Monday or Thursday, than I was last week on Thursday and Monday. Because if you spend time, your self-development every week, unbelievable lot you can achieve, and you can be better and better and better each week. And finally, after a year, you will be a different person concerning the knowledge. So always ask from yourself, when you have a specific goal, what would you do if you win $1 million? Think about, where would you spend it? What would you do if you have only 6 months to live? Think about it. What I would do. And what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? This is I usually ask in an entry interview from the students. Okay, you can reach whatever you want without failing. What would you achieve? Do you want to be a Nobel laureate? Do you want to be a farmer outside in the suburb? Do you want to have 10 kids? Whatever. What would you do? This is very important for yourself to understand, and even more important, to write it down. And always revise and reconsider during your life. Because maybe what is your priority today will not be your priority maybe 10 years later. Also concerning family, concerning business and self-development. The other issue is, and this is about the title of the presentation as well, that every minute counts. That if you want to be highly successful, you have to think about minutes. But of course, what is the time that really counts? Because some people, oh, come on, I may not count a minute. Why minute? Why not year? Why not hour? Or what not day? To realize the value of time, for example, 1 year. 1 year is valuable time. Let's go to ask a student who failed a grade and has to repeat the year. She or he immediately tell you how 1 year is important. One actually month is important. I don't know. But ask a mother who giving a birth for a premature baby, whether 1 month counts something or not. Whether 1 week counts, ask an editor, a weekly newspaper, whether how much count 1 week. Or 1 hour counts, ask a person who just missed the train, whether 1 hour is count or not. But maybe 1 second does count, yes. Ask a person who nearly avoided an accident and not hit by the bus or the tram or something like that. But this is the smallest time which counts. No, even milliseconds can count. Ask a silver medalist, athletes at an Olympic Games. Look at his face or her face when she or he actually missed it. Vader, do you think it's a millisecond count? Yes, a millisecond does count actually a lot. And you must understand that the rich people think about morning and afternoon. So if somebody asks what you have done last Wednesday in the morning, you may be able to answer it. Or what you have asked, what you have done in the afternoons. If you want to be above average, you have to think about hours. If you want to be successful, you have to think about 30 minutes periods. But if you would like to be very successful, you have to think in minutes. And 70–80% of people, when you ask their time, they are actually not aware of where they spend their time. But how important is a minute? And you really can do it. And whether is this minute you spend, whether how much actually this is helping you to be successful. Let's do a test that how much every minute counts. So I would like to ask a couple of students maybe there. Let's maybe give it there, okay? So ask me 1 minute in a week that what I have done or what I am doing. Any kind of minutes you can ask.
Does this work? Okay, so Monday, 9:45.
Monday, 9:45. Actually, I just finishing the visit at the hospital, and I actually push my phone to ask a taxi, which takes me from the hospital actually to the central building of the rector's office. And this minute, actually, when I came out from the 523 wardroom, when I finished with the patient support, first being with the patients and taking scientific knowledge to healthcare. And the second is when I push my phone, this is for a specific reason, because I want to have a taxi to reach the 10 o'clock, actually my business executive committee meeting at Translational Medicine. Please ask another minute.
Saturday, 7 o'clock in the evening and 39 minutes.
7 o'clock, actually, 7 o'clock I just start giving a bath to my grandchild. Every Saturday, 7 o'clock, this minute is dedicated for her. And this is actually spending valuable time with the family priority in my life. But you also mentioned 39 minutes. 39 minutes, I am between the two streets to going home to my own place. And this is also going back to my place, so I'm traveling with this 1 minute. One more.
Tuesday midnight.
Tuesday midnight, I sleep. This is my own time, and I sleep, and the main priority of what I am doing is to rest. So we can stop it, but you can ask me any minute among a week, which is 10,080 minutes, and I can exactly tell you in the minute what I am doing and what is the priority in my life which this minute supports. So every minute counts, and if you think how to spend your every minute, I definitely guarantee you that this will totally change your success in your family, in your workplace, in your sports activity, and everywhere. So if I summarize this chapter, first you need set your vision, you need set your priorities, you need specific goals, and you need to think in minutes. If you do these four, you can achieve unbelievable lasting. Okay, maybe I convince you, I don't know, that every minute counts, but if I convince you, let's think about how to set your calendar. Of course, in the calendar, not everything logical, what you are spending time, and sometimes there are immediate actions you have to do. Like, for example, if you have a child and from the school they give you a phone call that your child has an accident, you immediately go and so on. So there are plenty of emotional things in the calendar. Maybe in the morning your child saying, "Oh, Dad, I just forgot to tell you that today I will have a very important, maybe wedding or whatever, and I forgot to tell you, can you join it?" So you immediately change your calendar, of course. So there are logical and emotional parts in your calendar. But very important how you can spend your time. There are different levels of thinking. Like in the meta-analysis, you can be a beginner or an advanced analyzer or interpreter. Also in the time management, you can have a beginner as well. Beginner, what mean? You have 60 minutes, 1 hour. Of course, the most common thing is, oh, if I do something quicker, I can save time. Okay, I have only 10 minutes to reach the train, so I run to reach the train. Or I do sports activity, I have less time, I start to run faster, and exactly the same. This is a beginning issue. I think every of you was in a situation when a tram came and you were running, so this is a very typical issue, how to think about the time efficacy. There is a two-dimensional issue when you are most valuable spending your time. This is so-called Eisenhower matrix. I will speak about you. This is so-called from Eisenhower, President of the United States, who could have done in his period of administration the almost more things than anybody before him. And he used this when he had two-dimensional, urgent, not urgent, important, and not important. But there is a three-dimensional thinking. This is the advanced level, when you're not only thinking what is urgent and not urgent, and what is important and not important, but you always think the urgency, how soon does it matter what I am doing right now? How much does it matter? Because sometimes you can change, you can think about many good things, which one to choose. How long does it matter? Maybe I do something important issues, but maybe 1 year later it will not matter at all. But maybe if I spend something, same importance level, but existing the effect in the time period better, maybe you choose this one as well, because this will, the results, the key results, what you are doing, will have better. So how long does it matter? This is the key question for advanced time managers. What can I do right now which change the future? This is also very, very important, because you can change many things in the present, but if you would like to be an advanced time manager, this is the question you have to ask. Many times, plenty of people, 70–80% of the people writing to-do lists. This is actually killing yourself in the 21st century. You must forget to-do list. Why? There is a habit of every human person to do smaller and easiest and more enjoyable tasks. So if you are making the decision immediately, you are always choosing the more pleasurable, the more easier, and the smaller tasks. And you live because, ooh, it's too complicated. Maybe this one, I can see plenty of times also when you do your research or analysis, I put it away maybe because it's too complicated, and I start to do which is very easy issues. But sometimes these are the ones which are the most important one, which you are not doing because you make decisions based on your to-do list. And what's happening? You cross over what you have done, and if you have done it, look back this paper and look at, after, categorize it. Which would have been most important and less important. And the crosses will be totally opposite what you were doing. What you crossed, they were the less important, and what you didn't cross, they were the difficult but highly important things. So actually, in time management, they so-call it the to-do list is a graveyard of important but not urgent tasks. So forget to-do lists, because if you do, always the important things left at the end of your day. So, how to set your calendar? This is very important. One day, there is 1,440 minutes, a lot. If you spare it for 100 times, this will generate for you slots. 14 minutes and 24 seconds, this is one slot. You have 100 of slots during the day. And think about one slot, how much things you can do within 14 minutes, 24 seconds. You can run 2 to 4 kilometers. You can do push-ups. You can write 10 to 20 emails. You can have phone calls, things, ideas. Maybe we just discussed, maybe birth a baby. So within one slot, if you want to spend it valuable and productive, you can put it as well as much as actually you can. And you have unbelievable lot of time slots, 700 actually in a week. Very, very important, and you see me on the group meeting as well when I ask about the timetable from you. Plan your calendar ahead. When you get up in the morning, you must know maybe in one slot what you will do and for what reason. Some people, if you are in an advanced level, you can tell even the next week spots what you will do. One of the biggest reasons, main reasons of failure is to do something without doing action, without planning it. So if you are super busy, but you didn't plan what kind of activity you will do and for what for. So any kind of specific goal you have, for example, I do article writing, I do maybe article chase or whatever, if you don't have a strategic plan for your goal, it's only a vision. Okay, I would like to reach it. I hope. How many times we hear that I will reach? No, hope is not a strategy. Calendar, action plan, specific goals, they are actually. Procrastination. It's a human habit. Let's think what we do in the morning. Your alarm clock is ringing. What is the most common action we are doing? We push it down or kick it out or whatever is depend on your habit, what you do, but how many times you just stop it. And it's your habit whether you set the alarm break for 10 minutes to ring again or 30 minutes. Some very good procrastinators do it twice. The second time I also push down my watch and I wait for the third time. And 1 hour is just gone. Very quickly, 4 slots. You off. 4 very important slots because you didn't sleep. You didn't do sports activity, you didn't do anything. And the other issue is you must understand that plenty of things because of habits, atomic habits. I will tell a couple of examples later how to change it and why do you do that, because there is biology behind it. Why are you doing this? Every day and every morning. So procrastination can be a positive procrastination when something coming towards to you, an irrelevant or not important thing, and you would like to change it. You are sure that it's not important. You don't know what to do with it. Maybe you would like to delegate, you would like to eliminate, you would like to give it to the computer, automate. You don't know, so you procrastinate touching it. So this is I so-called positive procrastination because it generates time from you in the present. But most of the procrastination is actually negative effect because you are doing, there is a tendency of doing urgent things rather than important things. So if there is something which is urgent, usually try to do it. And also in the morning, and there is actually a habit. I am not a neuroscientist. I learned a couple of articles and papers, and it was very clear to me, and all papers go to one direction, that your brain, if can choose what to do, always choose which takes less energy, less ATP. This is why, because they would like to survive also when you sleep, when you do any actions, if you immediately make a decision, the brain doing what takes less energy. So what does it mean? You always have a learning curve. If you do an action one time and you repeat it, it takes less energy again when you repeat it. Maybe you will remember, I remember my first abstracts I was written, and at that time my professor used a red pencil to change the word because it was on paper. I still have this kind of paper. I mean, it was just fully red. Almost every word was in a bad place. And I spent maybe 1 week to write these abstracts, and I was unbelievably disappointed when I get it back, that none of the words were on the right place. But I spent it. Now you can write these abstracts much quicker. So your body learns what takes less energy. So in the morning when you push your coffee machine, do you think how to push it? No, this is automatic. When you drink your coffee, you are going to brush your teeth, your atomic habits takes half time less. So in the morning, if you have a habit to push your alarm clock down, you are doing it in the next morning and you can choose whether, shall I get up because I should do this? No, I still go to sleep a little bit more and after I will rush and finish it. You are doing because when your brain makes the decision, using less ATP, if they do it what you have done a day before, or 2 days before, or 5 days before. If you change your habit and you force yourself for a week or for 2 weeks, when your clock rings, to get up immediately, go to the coffee machine or whatever starts, after 2 weeks, when your clock will ring, you will choose to get up and not pushing it, because your brain spends less ATP, because this is the habit you were spending on it. So do it now, do it now. This is very important, not procrastinating, it's something coming, do it now. Of course, however, we have plenty of feelings, and why we are staying in the bed? Because I feel tired. When I ask somebody, maybe who can ask questions, you would like to, but you are maybe scared to ask. But finally, the successful people will be who do more action. So do it, do it, do it. You can tell yourself many times. I also learned, apart from neuroscience as well, that if you repeatedly saying for yourself, do it, do it, do it, do it, maybe before you go to bed, maybe you 1 minute before you go to sleep, you say, do it, do it, do it. The next morning, you easily will get up, because this is the subconscious mind, this is what they remember. So do it. And this is what I mentioned. What to do when you are scared? Come on, I am scared. Let's do it scared. Let's do it sleepy. So whenever you decide something on action, forget your feeling. Do it. Doesn't matter you are scared. Doesn't matter your pulse rate is high. Doesn't matter you are sleepy. Because if you think about, this is one of the most important slides of today, concerning what will generate for you success. If I asked you, who wants to be successful, each of you would elevate their hands. But this is very important to understand, that feelings has absolutely no connection with success. Whether you feel confident or if you feel scared. Plenty of Olympic winners are scared before it. They are not confident. And after they start there, do the action and win the race. Very important this is, that feelings absolutely not determine your success. Doesn't matter you are overconfident or you are not confident. However, every minute you spend on something will generate for you the chance to be successful. Every minute with action. Remember, students, when you came in September in the first week, and you get up and you gave your first talk, were you scared? Many of you, yes. Were you nervous? Many of you, yes. And think about half a year, 1 year, 1.5 years, because you did it every week, exactly on the same time, how much your English, how much your confidence rise, because the action, not because your feeling, because your action. So actions highly connected with your success. So what you have to achieve to be a really good time manager and to being a really, really excellent, highly successful people, you must stop the connection between your action and feeling. This is very important. This is what I try to reach with the group from September when you start. Doesn't matter you are scared, doesn't matter you are not confident, don't worry, just do it. And you can realize about how much you could come back. Be punctual, very, very important, to start everything on time. How many meetings you attended when in the first 10 minutes nothing happened because we waited for the others? And this is why I am saying that many people are time wasters, and they waste not only their time but your time as well. So if we started this presentation, this seminar 10 minutes later, we would have generated the loss of time for maybe 150 people times 10 minutes. A lot we would waste. So very important, either you attend something or you organize something, you start on time and also finish on time. Less than 5% of people are really punctual. Very, very important to do this, and plenty of people fail actually of being punctual on time to be there. Control your communication. The other time waster thinks the communication. In the 21st century, and this is what I said, this is the busiest period. Each time, each items in your life needs more time. Do you need more time for your emails? Oh my goodness, a lot of more time. Do you need more time for phone calls? Of course, I need more time. So if you don't control your conversations, your phone calls, your emails, you cannot be successful. There are plenty of techniques. I just can't put every techniques. But for example, there is one technique, this 3-2-1-0 technique, that you say, you put 21 minutes concerning, or doesn't matter how much you take, that this is my time for emails. You sit down, you focus, you concentrate, and you write plenty of them. At the end of, you stop it. And you do it second time, actually in the day, and third time. And don't touch your communications, because if you actually doing it plenty of different times, you will be not effective. I will tell the other technique later, and you will be not successful as well. Email. How many times we write in email which shouldn't have been written at all? So you must think about decrease the communication. Read the emails you written last week. And think about how many of emails were totally unnecessary to write, because it's just communication which lead nowhere. Another issue is I sometimes receive an email which is actually maybe longer than a paper. I just tried scrolling it and I never read. I don't start even reading, because it's impossible to read a half an hour to spend to read one email. So you must reduce it. The best emails usually no more than 3 or 4 sentences. And if I ask something in an email, it's almost yes or no. Or just, this is the date, is it okay for you? Yes, no. These are the 3 dates, which one do you want to choose, or whatever. So the emails must be really, really short. And the third one, I just so-call it ping-pong emails. When somebody writes an email to a group with 30 people and put something to discuss. And within 5 minutes, it's written 59 emails came back. From everybody writes something, and I have absolutely not a clue in what sort of time points they written, and starting scrolling, reading. You spend unbelievable huge amount of time, and finally, of course, there is no agreement, because somebody came back 5 times, somebody came only 1 time. Maybe who came only 1 time was more important that he came with 10 times. And immediately within a day, there will be over 100 sets in the Gmail that this, and we start, never do this. This is so-called ping-pong emails. This is the biggest time wasters during emails. It's something need to be discussed. You organize a personal issues, or if it's one-on-one discuss, we need to discuss something. In that case, pick up the phone and we can discuss it maybe within a minute. But via emails, maybe half an hour, we don't understand each other. The other very important issue is about the phone. We have an atomic habit to pick up the phone when it's ringing and start doing conversation. And this stops you what you are doing. You put it down, you pick up the phone. After you put the phone down, you pick up your activity again. The phone calls ring again, you pick up, you put down, you pick up, you put down. And also the other issue is about the walk-in visitors. When somebody comes to the office, how are you? What you have done last time? Oh my goodness, it starts from the very beginning, and this is not the time for a conversation. So you must reduce it. You don't need to pick up every phone call. Of course, there are a couple of phone calls you need to pick up immediately when you're exactly right, for example, your leader, your boss, or you wait for a phone call which is highly important from a minister, or doesn't matter, you immediately pick up. But less than 5% of the phone calls needs immediate answers. You have to know which one to pick up and which one to keep it, and at the end of the day, you can ring them back. So I have a slot for ringing people back. So many times I always say when I give my phone call, you can call me anytime. I may not pick it up, but I guarantee to you that within 24 hours I will ring you back. But don't pick up the phone call every time. Maybe I'm in a group meeting, my phone is ringing. Oh, sorry, wait for your presentations. I go out, I come back, because I immediately start wasting your time, everybody's time, and my time actually as well. Another very important issue, I said at the very beginning, you don't have time to do everything, but you have enough time to do important things. So what is a big challenge when you fill these 700 slots? What to put in and what not to put in. So when a task coming to you and you are thinking to put it to the calendar or not, you have to make a decision. What kind of decisions you can make? You eliminate. We will say the magic words later. What is the magic word in time management? Or you can automate it. So for example, you know that you need to pay the electricity bill, the gas bill, the rental fee, and so on. You are not doing every week mechanistically. You give it to the computer, you try to automate. You can save lots of time. Automate things which doesn't need your personal involvement. Delegate. I will show you the delegation tree. You can delegate much more things you never thought, or procrastinate on for purpose. This is, as I said, if something not important, you don't want to make the decision, let's procrastinate it. I tell you a story because delegation is very difficult. I am very bad at it. Plenty of times, no, I want to do it because I can do it better. And if I would like to reach it to be successful, I have to do it, because others can't do it as well as I do. I am very bad on it. I do plenty of things what I realized it. I made my self-development also in time management, and I heard a brilliant story from actually Rory Wadden, who was called in the past Rory McLaughlin, about his story. He was 7 years old, and he was sitting in a car with his mom. And they were driving, and he asked his mother, "Mom, do I have a dad?" What a question, you know, it's a mom must navigate. And this was the first time he mentioned when his mother told the story of her life to him. His mother was 16 when her first child was born. She had no high school education. After divorce within a month, after when she was 22, Rory was born, and within half a year, his pair left again. So at that time, she decided not to have any man in her life, because they are actually not worth to have. But she explained to him that, okay, we don't have a man, you don't have a dad in your life, but we have love, we can be successful, we can do everything well, so we don't need a man in our life. And it's so on went the conversation, and finally he said, "Yes, Mom, you are right, but it would be still so cool to have a dad. And okay, if you want a dad, let's go to find a good dad for you." So, and after his classes started, and some of the classes were that evening students also came in and so on, so he met a guy who was called Kevin, and after they started conversation, and he decided that, oh, he could be a good dad for me. And he started conversating, made it time. They went to see movies together. After they became to be very good friends, so sometimes he took him home. And after they went to see movies together, 3 of them. And he said he never forgot the time when he was left at home, and Kevin with his mom went only together to see the cinema. And after they became to be married, and he actually took his name, so to Wadden, and they have been married for 27 years. And what I told you this story, when he told this story, that everything can be delegated. So even to find a dad or find a pair can be delegated. So when you think I can't delegate, remember this story. I said that there is a magic word as well. The magic word in time management is no. we have an atomic feeling. We don't like saying no. We like saying yes. This is more relaxable. Then something come to you, yes. Because you feel much better yourself when you say yes than no. However, you don't remember, when you say one time yes, you say unlimited thousands of no's on the same time for any other task you can do. So if you say yes, one yes, it generates billions of no's for other activities, because this time you can do. If you say no, just one no will give you millions of options, millions of yeses to do something else, what you can choose. So totally opposite the results. One no, what does it mean? And one yes, what does it mean? Totally opposite. But plenty of times we don't like saying no. So just for beginners, let's say, oh, let me think about it and then come back to you. And so if you don't like saying no, you can start doing it and maybe say to no, okay, can we go to here, go to have that place? You can say it easily. And this is what I said, eliminate, delegate, or the third one is to put it to your calendar. So this is the so-called Eisenhower matrix, which is very important. This is the two-dimensional things. So before you set up your calendar, the 700 slots, I suggest you to use this. This is the second one. Plenty of times you live your life here, just 2 hours before the deadline. Urgent, important, you are here. You do it now, do it now. You can't do anything else, just do it right now, which is something is important and urgent. This is what you have to realize, and this is your calendar, important, productive, valuable, put it to your calendar. If something not important but urgently needed, delegate it in the delegation tree you can do. And if something is neither urgent, not important, I can tell you how many social media, Netflix, and I can't tell you how much conversations we are doing, just delete it from it. So of course, plenty of urgent things. I mentioned one thing, when your child has an illness or whatever, you need to do it right now. This is actually your calendar. You can plan it. The third one, actually, this is the delegate, and this is what I would like to show you, the delegation tree. I got work to do from the delegation tree. Many people live in this circle that you are leading a group. For example, I lead the Center for Translational Medicine, but I am also sitting in the Vice Rector for Scientific Matters Committee when I get delegations. But if you don't delegate what is there, you cannot get delegated issue, delegated tasks from the others. So you must also delegate, because you get delegated job as well. And the fourth one is actually to delete it. Anything which is not urgent and not important. However, let's create your to-do list, your biggest list. You may say, come on, Peter, I just said that forget to-do list. No, create a to-do list. Do you know what kind of to-do list? This is the most important to-do list, the not to-do list, which you have to set up in your calendar, and it has to be your biggest list. Include everything. Take a paper and write it down. What is the not to-do list, which is not valuable and not important for you? And every year, we also make a brainstorming meeting in the Center for Translational Medicine and everything, because if repeatedly you are doing it, so you are always 1 hour before the deadline, 2 hours before the deadline, it creates you crisis, change your life. If it's repeatedly come, you need to plan and put it here. The most successful people has the highest square this second. As successful as you are, this box is as large. So whenever you summarize backwards what you have done, you have to think about, and you have to, if not, this is your biggest square, you are not a good time manager. Other issue is, which can save time for you, is the complete tasks. If you start something, you complete it. Start again and complete it. If you put it down, put it up, put it down, put it up, it will not work. So something is urgent, do it, finish it, actually complete it. Do it now, because sometimes, you know, if you put it down, rewards are not coming, just in a late time, you feel tired, you feel unhappy about it. So concentrate and complete. Plenty of times happening, we put out something, we write it, and after put it down. We put on, when you make your exam also, learn something, put it down, learn something, put it down. This is actually 500% elevate the time for finishing a task. If you put it, pick it up, put it down, pick it up, put it down, pick it up, because you need time to get back about what you are doing. The first couple of minutes, just waste of time, because you reach a level actually of thinking. So this is so-called single handlings. Alec Mackenzie, I heard plenty of time managers talk from him. He so-called it single handling. Touch it, complete it. How many times you open an email and you close it? You open the next one, you close it. I will answer it later. This time just goes by. Open up when you have time, or you can deal with it, and not categorize, because these actions also take your time. And this is, I mentioned to you, revise, review your slots, always. So the first, how to start, sit down and write the last week you have done the 700 slots, and put it green, which helps to your vision, or your specific goals, and make black, which just gone by. And you will realize how much time you can win. So you need always to review. Of course, you cannot change the past. And sometimes the present is transitory, so it doesn't matter you missed it so far, but in the future you can do that. You can only be sure about your future if you create it. And the best way to create it, to use actually this calendar. Concerning this review, I suggest you also to use the Pareto principle. This is like the 80-20 rule, which means that he was an Italian philosopher and farmer, and he realized that only 20% of Italian farmers produce the 80% of all food in Italy. So usually your activity, what you do today, is only 20% of them generate the 80% of your whole success. You have to realize it, you have to think about the other 80%, either change it or eliminate it. In 2011, I made an analysis of one of the Hungarian universities after I changed 3 universities, when I actually put about each person's performance to a graph. So on this university, I will not tell you which university, there were 472 associate professor, assistant professor, professors, 260 PhD students or research associate, and 628 like medical doctors without affiliation at the university. And we counted every paper which has impact factor. Doesn't matter if it's 0.004 Q4 per page, it said yes here. And the no only is where somebody has absolutely no article within that year. This is exactly the 2080 rules. Only 20% of the university is producing really the scientific activity, 80% does not. And this is a big difference between a Western university and an Eastern Europe university. In Eastern Europe, you can get by with it, because we also analyzed that there are persons who within 4 years not publishing any first or last author papers, within 4 years, 50% not. So either we should change it and ask them to do it, or force them to do it, or saying, sorry, you are out of the university. In Western Europe, they are doing. Why I am so happy with this program? Because we just recently analyzed about the supervisors. And exactly 75% of the supervisors had no paper a year before, either a first or last author who is in this program. So this Center for Translational Medicine program were designed not only for those people who are already super busy and producing activities, but also to the rest. So you always have to look at your time, where your time goes by and where you lose your time. So you always have to ask, how am I spending my time concerning my major goals, my priorities and everything. Each minute you have to tell at the end of the week, the 10,060 minutes, how it gone. So if I summarize the chapter 3, how to set your calendar, we were speaking about the to-do list, your calendar, procrastination. Of course, there is positive and negative. Punctual, because if you are not punctual, it kills your calendar. Control your communication, not to-do list, highly important. Complete the task and review and revise your minutes. Chapter 4, how to increase your efficacy per slot. This is the first section today when I tell you how to do more things within the same time. This is highly important because everybody has the same time. First very issue is stay healthy. Doing regular sports activity, regular foods, if you are healthy, you can do much more. Plenty of times we don't think that maybe half an hour run a day will generate you a health level which after give you more possibilities to do more things within a certain period of life. Also, you can boost your energy. There are plenty of techniques. I will not tell you what kind of techniques it is, which actually can determine your productivity within a certain period of time. This is also very important. So your energy level and your health level. Always have an action plan. This is, I already mentioned. If you have an action plan how to do something, you will be far away quicker than before that. It gives you a confidence that you know what you will do, priorities, use a checklist, and everything. You can do much more better. So doing, I already told you, doing something, having an action without plan, it results in successful results. Set deadlines, highly important. The Parkinson's law said the time actually will fit the time allocated for it. If there is something to do within an hour, and you have a 4 hours deadline for it, it will take 4 hours. If there is something which needs to be done within 2 hours, but you have only 1 hour, you will speed up and make 1 hour. So without deadlines for yourself will not generate success. This is what I mentioned when you have an article, to look at how many articles, duplication, selection, also to set a deadline for every period, because you will be much more successful than if you say that for a week, this is what I will do. And successful people always give tight and stringent discipline deadlines to keep, because if you have short deadlines, this will generate much more things to complete. Single handling, I already mentioned to it earlier, this can also generate time winning for you, because if you touch it once and you release it, after you can win plenty of times, which is just open up, close it, open up, close it. Batching tasks, this is very small amount of people doing it. When, for example, you have several things to do, and you do it in a certain period of time in one day, this will generate you lots of actually time. Because what it happens, if you, for example, open up an email, close it, the next email you open takes less time. So if you do an action and you repeatedly doing it, actually you can be faster and faster every time. So if there is something to do within a day, put it to a one certain batch and do it at that time. This will generate time for you. Self-development. If you do a self-development, how to communicate successfully, for example, with the patient. When the patient needs to go for cholecystectomy, I need to conversate with the patients, and I would like to convince the patients to go there because this is for her or his health. If you learn your self-development, how to communicate effectively, maybe you can do it within a minute. If you don't have self-development on communication, maybe you do it within 10 minutes, and the question is whether you will be successful or not. So you can generate lots of time by self-improvement, so I suggest everybody that have time slots every week for your own self-development. Neatness. I am very bad at it. I had a table with full of papers in front of, and now I am happy because I moved to a university where there is no place. I don't have a room yet. So I always come to a table with my laptop, and there is really, really neatness there. But before I was very, very bad at it. So it's again actually decrease your focus. Oh, here is a paper, this was important, and you touch it, touch it, touch it. You can elevate actually your time efficacy if you have a neatness. And this is the traffic word which actually help you. Everything, toss it away. Take a paper, do I need it? I don't, poof, put it to air or refer to somebody else, do it, or immediately file, and your table should be empty. Because if your table is empty, this gives you much better focus for you. If you go somewhere, the other issue is that there is a very good idea and you don't write it down. Plenty of times happening, if you have an excellent idea, it goes by. Life is too short, actually, to lose these kind of extremely good ideas. So always have a notebook. It could be your phone, it could be your laptop, it could be actually anything else. Other very important issue is how to save times about the meetings and agenda. 25% of people actually, or 25% of your time usually in a company goes with meetings. But if you think about how much time really needed for that meeting, you realize how much time you can win. Actually, if you know what is the purpose of the meeting and you actually have agenda for this meeting. So very, very importantly, say no to meetings when you don't know the priorities, you don't know the endpoint, you don't know the problems which will sort it out during the meetings. There is not time periods in it. Don't go to the meeting. You will get the memo after the meeting, which will help. But if you organize a meeting, do oppositely. Right, the purpose of this meeting is this. This is what the problem we would like to sort it out. This is the endpoint. This is why you are invited. You are there to be involved to solve one of the problems which are there. So the effective business tool, very important. If you are asked to go to the meeting, ask back. What is the purpose of the meeting? What is the agenda of the meeting? If there is not an agenda, could you please send me an agenda of the meeting? Okay, no, not an agenda. Okay, I will think my calendar whether I can go, and 1 hour later I say, I'm sorry, I can't go because I have other issues. Always when you make a meeting and you organize it, put the important things first, because sometimes the meeting at the end, the important things will be not discussed. Stop and start the meeting on time. When I was asked what I am doing in a certain minute, I said, I go and I really take a taxi. It's money, I know, but I can start right time of the meeting and I finish the time. The two major time wasting for the meetings, and any of you are sitting here, usually attend meetings, is goes off track. You start conversating irrelevant things from the past and so on. So who is leading the meeting has to stop at that time. Maybe he is considered to be unpolite, but must say that stop, okay, let's go to the next agenda to discuss it. And always think about reduce the number of meetings. There is a research have been done which showed that usually an average person in a company spends 62 meetings per month, which is totally not effective doing it. So usually how to set, for example, a weekly team meetings, which are crucially important, the business meetings, when everybody can be there and discuss it. Very important that everybody got a time period, use statistics, use a couple of slides to show what you are meeting, have important detailed agenda for it. Disagreement problems need to be brought up not only what we are agreeing, because otherwise the meeting will be not successful. And usually, because during the meeting, you are always bringing up the problems, everybody stand up, oh, come on, so it's again, nothing works. Use the last 5 minutes always in a meeting to say what has been done successfully in the last week. And finally, everybody will be cheered up at the end of the meeting. So chapter 4, how to increase your efficiency per slot. We were speaking lots of things. Stay healthy. Any of you to take as advice and use it from this meeting, I guarantee to you that this 1 hour presentation will worth this 1 hour, and this will generate for you lots of time in the future. Chapter 5, so the tricks come, how to make 8.5 days in a week. And this is like you can fold the time to each other to win more additional time. Let's think about it, how to do the folding techniques. Folding techniques, if here the time periods, there is 24 hours only a week, or only a day. Yes, if you think about a linear line, this is yes, 24 hours. But if you can do more actions, or with the delegation one, you can change these time slots to each other, you can generate more time to you. And then, in that case, if you fold some kind of activities, important activities, finally you can have, at the end of the day, not 24 hours like here, but, for example, 29 hours like here. For example, emails can be done, important emails during your travel. Or when you run, you can put something on it and you can do self-development as well. Or when I run, I go with somebody from the family, I change my family time plus sports time, or with one of your coworkers, you can discuss actual issues. So you can generate lots of time for yourself. So if you can, this is a highly advanced level, for your time doing some activities together, this will really, really help you to expand the 7 days. Okay, but you say, okay, I was speaking a lot today, too much maybe, and I gave you plenty of ideas, but of course, nobody can do that. It's not possible to do it because it's too much. It's too many things together. So I brought up a case report for you, and I will show you whether you can do a time management or not. So the case is about a 51-year-old professor at Semmelweis University who actually put his vision down to a paper, and this professor would like to reach a level when all scientific knowledge immediately goes for patients' benefits. Let's look at the mission. Whenever I am somewhere, I usually would like to have a game changer, to change something, to change a problem, and change it for a much better future. Priorities, of course, and I didn't start with my work, family, myself. I am also very important for myself. I like very much myself. I like spending time for my happiness. My vision, I would like to be healthy, and I really like art as well. Okay, but until I don't have specific goals, these are only visions, and everybody has visions. Let's look at the specific goals concerning my family. I really enjoy spending time with the family, and I also have a habit, because unfortunately my family members, many of them are not in financially. I like also helping those who is not. Concerning myself, I like regular sports. I would like to die young, but as late as possible. So when I am 51, I like feeling myself like 20, being really in a healthy conditions. Self-development, every week is very important to have self-development, so I want in my calendar to have slots for it, and I really want my own time. I like going to theater, to sports events, to parties, and so on. Vision, I would like to motivate many young people, as many as I can, to do much better, to teach as many as healthcare professionals about how to change. And I was an international FIFA football referee. I enjoyed it very much. I don't want to give up actually being involved somehow in sports. Very clearly, I wrote down what is my specific goals. Okay, what I told to you, if I don't have action plan, I can't do anything. So I put down that I want ongoing contact, either on phone call every day or meeting, be a role model for the kids, meet elderly family members every week. This is an action plan. Meet the youngest member of the family as often as possible. Myself, I really committed to have daily sports activity, weekly self-improvement, monthly theater, quarterly sports event, improvisation, attend parties. I just would like to mention that tonight there will be the Gatsby party, and I will be there at Center for Translational Medicine because I like it very much. Concerning my vision, I would like to run as successful as I can the Center for Translational Medicine. I would like to build a nationwide TM thinking, so not only I am thinking at Semmelweis level, but international level as well. Run the National Academy of Scientist Education, be actively involved in every patient in my pancreatic cancer unit. I would like to do it weekly, but of course there are things I would like to do quarterly, like for example art, for dancing, or committee members. So, one of the first key, I think the success that I wrote it down. And after I put it in front of me and started my 700 slots in my calendar, so I picked up the calendar Monday. Basic issues, I need to sleep as well. So I can use my time more efficiently, not because I sleep less, because I do it when the highest priority at that time is. So I put the basics, the work, the sports, every day they have 3 slots, family, own, travel, phone calls, and so on. And this is what I mentioned, that if you think how many things you can do parallelly, I put it there. So I travel 48 slots a week. So this is not very productive time. So I do emails and plenty of things during this period. So I could 92% of this time to fold any other activities. So when I go, for example, from Budapest to Pécs by car, I delegate the driving because it doesn't bring success for me. I sit on the rear seat and writing my emails actually as well. Or during, I have sports activity 27. I either hear folk music or doing self-development for me concerning different podcasts and different presentations. So here is my time calendar. The first one is about on main time, and the second row is about when I can fold something. So this is the mechanics. You remember my first 2 words? Priorities and mechanics. This is the mechanics. Here are the time I am spending. 1/3 with basics, so mostly sleeping, 1/3 work, and 1/3 all the others, including myself, family, and all the others. So this is the folding time. So 158 slots I can do because I fold the time. So for me, I am in an easy situation because 1 week is 8.5 days for me. It's a trick, but you can use it. So I can do much more than others. So let's look at the family. During the week, I can call them up either on the morning or evening, and here is the slots for my family. I'm really very proud of my kids because all of my 5 kids has 7 advanced language exams. They are in different top universities. They are really became to be highly successful. Again, not always spending the time amount, which means, but if you can be a role model or you can give good advices, you can generate actually a lot. Here is the oldest. I can see my godmother 45 times a year. I see my mother 68 times a year. Think about how many times you see your mother. I can see it because I put it to the calendar and they have a time slots on a certain period of time. Even I can see my grandchild. This is my best folding when I am sleeping and I am with my grandchild as well. And of course, there are other relatives which you can use also widely, but not every time, but maybe twice a year. And this is what I mentioned, also helping the others during actually shopping or so on. Myself, I like myself very much. This is what I said. So I am not going to give up my sleeping time or my own time. I put the calendar to my own time, and this is the time I do improvisedly. I spend it whenever I can on the issues what I do. Of course, I need to sleep, and I need to have morning time and evening time. So I can have 9 slots every week for my self-development. I go like sport event maybe once a week, once a month. I can go to theater as well. So the first one, like it was the Halloween party. I attended almost every CTM parties. Here with my daughter in a theater. I saw a Paris Saint-Germain football game. This will be tonight. I again suggest everybody who can come to the Gatsby party. We can do sports activity or traveling. So using your calendar, and this is what I mentioned, that just living long to be old, it doesn't mean that you lived a lot. And just because you work and you are successful, it doesn't mean that you are not attending those things you really like. Sports. I said I run every day, but only 3 slots. When I ask somebody, oh, very important, the sports activity, but I don't have time, I immediately start smiling because there are a couple of lies in it, which sounds well, but not. So only 3 slots a day, which is usually 6 kilometers with preparing and stopping, and in the weekend it's a little bit more. If you use your calendar, something is your calendar, at the end of the year, you will be amazed what you can achieve. So last year, I ran 319 kilometers. You can see almost everything in there. Each month regularly, if you add it. If somebody asks, can you believe that the busy Péter Hegyi, for example, can run over 300 hours? 300 hours is almost 1.5 working 8 hours a day. You can do that because it's in your calendar. But as I mentioned, you can fold it. For example, sometimes I can run with my daughter, we can discuss it, so family sports time are fold, or with one of your coworkers who likes running, you can discuss actually things. And I said at the beginning that feeling is not important. Sometimes in the morning, this is my face at 5:50, because I really have a feeling not running. So this would generate 62 marathons actually a year, and only 3 slots per day. Vision. As you know, my vision, one of my main vision, to change the medical training for medical doctors, dentists, physiotherapists, dietitians, everything, that they must have at least 1 day specifically for science. And here at Semmelweis University, we could reach everybody who is in the program can get protected time for that. And if you look at the Center for Translational Medicine, where built up and works, we have in a secondary school program, which Bruce Butler will come and give a next seminar in March in the program. We are running a really highly qualified pancreatic unit, and we are also running the Academy Europea, including 4,800 members, 83 Nobel laureates, and we are leading the clinical part. Concerning my self-development, I also like to see that I am successful, everything is going right, elevating my final impact factor citations. I would like to spend my time with Nobel laureates as well, with foreigners. So if I look at about how many people I can meet with Nobel laureates and so on, I can see that really the time management I am spending, not only good for the family, but also the vision concerning the arts, concerning refereeing. I'm still a member of the UEFA Referees Committee, and I am responsible for Germany, Slovenia, and Northern Ireland to lead it. I translate the laws of the game to Hungarian. So everything is possible, and I don't have any magic wand. I just have a calendar, and I use it. So the real question, what I can ask from you and concerning it, the only real question is how much do you want to find time for everything, for every important things? How much do you accept that you need to improve? It's very important because somebody, okay, that's good advice and continue how it goes. How much effort are you willing to put into it? It's not easy to do every time, every minute. What is it? But I must say it really worth doing it. So here is just the summary of the today's chapters and presentations, what we were discussing. If any of the small issues, you change it, you bring it, I guarantee to you that you can get actually more time. I really hope that this maybe a little bit over than 1 hour was actually for your benefit, and you can get more time being with me today. So thank you very much for your attention. I am very happy to take questions.
Thank you, Peter. This was very exhausting, I think, not only to you, but to everybody. Questions, please. We have time for a few questions. Everybody is so shy. So what my personal worry is, of course, I mean, we always look for excuses. But when you compare the Hungarian system, for example, with Switzerland, I mean, in Switzerland, most people work actually, I mean, in a well-scheduled time, and everything is predictable. And here in Hungary, there is always some kind of exceptions. So how do you handle this? Because this is coming every day into our life. There are some extra tasks, some unexpected things or so. So how can you handle this in this system?
Yes, very important question. I mean, what you have to understand that you are sitting in a car, which in car you are the driver. So always you are the one who are making the decisions. I never thought I will leave Szeged University when I was there, and I left it. I left it for another university, which actually were fitting to my visions, to my calendars, everything much better. Unfortunately, after 6-7 years, I realized that the vision of this university is not exactly what I want, so I changed the university. So always you have the chance to say no. You always have the chance to change, to improve yourself, and go to other paths when you can reach your vision. So in Hungary, you have to change many times. Unfortunately, and this is what you are mentioned, because the circumstances. But saying that, I would do this, as you say, the excuses, which we have thousands, but the circumstances do not allow me, this is a lie. Because allows, the question is, are you willing to pay the price? Are you willing to move? Are you willing to change?
Questions, please. Yes, please. Over there. First there.
Oh, okay. From when did you start living such an organized and planned life? Because it seems like right now for you everything is organized, but at some point it must have been very messy and not organized, right? So I was wondering when that started.
The answer is very easy, too late. I was around between 40 and 45 when I realized how important is time. Before that, when I was young, come on, it doesn't matter, I don't care. So if I change something in the past in my life, I would consider it when I am young much better. I just can't know where I could be if I realize the importance is at your age right now who are sitting here. Unfortunately, too late. This is the answer.
Thank you for your presentation. My question is regarding to like smart gadgets, like smartwatch and your phone. So how do you use them effectively in reaching your goals? Because that kind of devices could be somehow cause distraction. So what is your solution for this?
Yes, today is much more difficult than in the past to focus. because the huge amount of distractions, the electric distraction, this is another issue, is always in self-development issues you can realize. For example, I have a smartwatch. During this presentation, I did it twice because it was a phone call which I don't want to take it. So if you have these electronic things, also not to do is the biggest list, when not to touch it, when not to small it, and use it whenever you need it. You need a tactic, you need awareness for that, because a message comes, you have a habit, atomic habit, to look at what came on the messenger or somewhere, you immediately answer, you put it, you immediately big. So for example, mostly my phone is silenced, and my watch is silenced, and I try to focus it only on certain times when I answering or repeating something.
Thank you for your presentation, and let me ask one thing. So you suggested for us to delegate the urgent but not important task for other. So, but maybe which technique do you suggest for this delegate? Because maybe these tasks not important for the others too. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Due to the lack of my self-development every week, I can answer it. There is also techniques how to delegate tasks. So for example, when somebody, a PhD student, you would like to delegate something to your project students. So first, about how to delegate. You can delegate, do it, I can't, yes you can. Of course, this is a delegation technique which usually doesn't work. Okay, let's come to me, let's see. This is how important is it. Sir first mentioned the importance. Second, again, asking back questions. What did you understand? What I delegated to you? This is what I would like to do. You must put expectations. What I expect. Very important, always mention the because. Why? If I delegate something and I don't tell the person that why is it important, it will not go. Or always have a statement, have a duty to delegate. So the problem, duty to delegate, and put it at the end, why. Hello, very good that you are my project students. We have an unbelievable important problems to questions concerning, for example, the dysbacteriosis during sepsis also, or whatever in this. If we can solve this problem, this will generate much more survivals during, for example, septic disease. The next, to reach it, we would like to finish something with the deadline. So as I mentioned, always give deadline. So we must reach within 6 months that we look at this 5,000 paper. But to do that, this would be our job for this week. So I would like to expect, I would like to do that you are doing. And always when you delegate, use the help and thank you. These two words. Could you help me that, or help us to achieve this, not do it, or something like that. And finally, always put deadline, reasons, and expectations. This is also different techniques how to make delegation.
Right here.
Hello, I am currently a first-year medical student here, and I want to ask, since you give such emphasis on delegating and saying no to the time wasters, as a student, is obviously what I can do is much more limited, since I cannot say no to as many things. What can you advise regarding that?
Yeah, of course, my 700 slots are totally different. How if you set up your 700 slots will be? Of course, you can delegate much less than I can delegate. That's 100% sure. Of course, there will be some things. Doesn't matter, it's generate knowledge, you have to attend. So maybe there is a seminar, nothing coming out for you, but you have to attend. You must attend because this is the rule that you have to be there, so on. But if you use your calendar with 700 slots, only 1/4 of there, which is done by others, which is done by in a working time, from 8 to maybe 4. 3/4 of your Thai calendar, you are responsible for it. Of course, you cannot delegate as much as I can at that time, but you can use your time for important things. Of course, and this is what I said, you always have to write down the priorities and the set goals and revise it. For example, as a first-year medical student, for example, you have to be at the certain classes. So your specific goals in this to go to the class. So you reach it. Of course, 10 years later, 20 years later, this is not will be your specific goals. So this is why every time you have to revise your specific goals and priorities and and this will help. And your priorities and specific goals currently totally different than somebody who's 50-year-old.
Thank you. So in a life so strictly planned, where can you find room for spontaneity, or is there enough room at all for spontaneity?
Yes, of course. As you see, I have 83 slots for on time. Many of them are not set before. Sometimes I look at the Champions League game yesterday when Leipzig equalized in the 86 minutes of the game. Sometimes, as you see tonight, I will go there to the Gatsby party. So actually there are plenty of rooms for improvisation. But also there is a starting time when I start improvising in my life, and there is a stoppage time at midnight when I stop it because I go to sleep. But for example, like Wednesday evening from 5:30 to midnight, almost nothing in my calendar. This is my own time. So of course it's highly important. I'm a very improvisative person. I like making prompt decisions and so on, but this is the time when you can do. So 83 slots is a lot, I can tell you. If you spend it in valuable, you could see, I was in the Hungary-Italy football game, I was in Paris Saint-Germain, I was in plenty of things. So I must say, you can have a very rich life, personal life, with 83 slots a week.
All right, I think time is over, and we are all very tired, actually, of this. It is not that easy to digest. So you will, first of all, we recorded this. So this will be kind of put up onto our websites after editing, of course. And also you will receive the slides. And then we just strongly, and even I would strongly suggest you to consider this seriously, because this could help you a lot in your life, in your career, and actually, understanding that why you are here. And if you understand that why you are here in this life, then what are your purposes? So thank you very much, Peter. I think this was a great talk. And hopefully, we just keep going on this line. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.